If COVID ended tomorrow, what is the first thing you'd do? Hug my grandma. I would do the exact same. Since the start of COVID, we have never hugged, and it never bothered my until Christmas Day. We always used to have secret greetings. Seeing her before me on Christmas Day and not being able to hug her made me sad. That was the first thing since the start of COVID that I realized I missed. My grandma and grandpa have always been a huge support in my life. They have a ton of grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but I always remained close with them. When my grandfather was having surgery a few years ago, I took a week off work to stay with my grandma so she wasn't alone. A year and a half ago my grandpa passed away. I know my grandmother wasn't expecting it and it has been difficult for her. Then of course, COVID hit. It's just hard knowing that during a time when she needs us, I can't physically be there for her, especially when over the years she has been there for me so many times. Oof. This one hits me in the feels. My grandma died last month. She was the last of my grandparents still around. No wake, closed casket at the funeral. I had to watch the interment from my car because of distancing guidelines at the cemetery. When you can, give her a hug from this random internet stranger too, please. I'm so sorry for your loss. I will hug her extra for both of us. Man, we lost my grandfather a couple months. Same thing, my last one. We had been using Alexa to see him, but couldn't go to the funeral as he was in Arkansas. Sucks big time. Definitely this. I've gone to an average of 2 big concerts a year and local band gigs at least once a month since about 2010. In 2020 I managed one concert in January. I was already missing live music by June. I had a show on the day my city shut down. The bands dropped out one by one in the hours leading up to it. It was excruciating. Me too. They were in sound check and then called it off. We all were kinda waiting for it to happen and already had most of our friends from out of town say they weren't coming for the shows. Go to a sit-down restaurant. I'm never doing that again, unless it's fine dining in a fine establishment. No more McDonald's 3x a week. No more Olive Gardens. No 7-Eleven hot dogs. No more high fructose corn syrup. I taught myself to cook during lockdown. I still burn things and my fire alarms still go off, but I will never eat garbage again. I can make my own burger. The arches can kiss my fat ass. I don't know you, but I'm so proud of you. Give my wife the wedding reception she deserves. Her parents are divorced and it's one of the only times both sides of her family will be together and she didn't get to have it because of COVID. Also, she had to replan things more than once. Eat a big bowl of pho at my neighborhood Vietnamese restaurant. Takeout soup ain't the same. Do you know why takeout soup isn't the same? For me, I haven't had decent French fries since the summer. The restaurants were trying to open back up. That's the only time since March we've eaten inside and we did it once. Lukewarm French fries are horrible. I take that back. We ordered from the drive-thru and ate in the car. I hate eating in the car and juggling the food and drinks. IDK, I've never found it that difficult to eat in a car. But that's probably because I never learned to juggle and just hold stuff. Definitely depends on what you're eating and if you're driving. Did they give you pre-cooked noodles in the oyster pail? If so, try asking for uncooked noodles and cook them yourself. Toss the noodles into boiling water for a minute or two while you heat up the broth. Strain the noodles and combine. Or be lazy like me and boil the broth. Add meat when boiling, except the rare steak if you get it. Add the uncooked noodles, and stir, wait until you reach boil again and then pour into a bowl. Layer your rare steak on top. Add your bean sprouts, herbs, peppers and enjoy. Are all these places really locked down? I can basically go into any place and eat as long as I wear a mask until I sit down and they abide by a smaller capacity sat apart. That depends on what country you are in, of course. A lot of countries are in full lockdown and haven't had their restaurants open for months. Go travel. Overseas travel is the main thing I have just not done enough of. For real. I'll be turning 29 this year and I've never left the North American continent. Skeptical smiley face. I've only gone to Mexico to visit family. I've always viewed Europe as too inaccessible, expensive for me. But that isn't the case at all. Time to explore. Same here. About to reach 27, never even stepped into a plane. Like, I see people who take them as if they were buses and I have absolutely no idea what it's like. And yeah, the unknown does make me nervous. But I didn't want that to stop me. I wanna visit England and Germany. I wanna see snow. I also have no idea what that feels like. Fingers crossed. Yup, not like much changed for many of us when Corona hit. I'm an introvert. The only thing that really changed for me is I now work from home in PJs and don't have to be in an office pretending to like those around me in appropriate office attire. Introversion doesn't really mean being happy to completely isolate yourself in your home 24/7. Normal healthy people have a desire to go places and see others once in a while. That said, I'm the exact same way. This introversion just means you eventually get drained from seeing people and need alone time to recharge as opposed to extroversion where you are energized by being with people. It's different ways to charge your battery. Introversion doesn't mean you hate people, or afraid in public or don't have friends. Give my wife the wedding reception she deserves. Her parents are divorced and it's one of the only times both sides of her family will be together and she didn't get to have it because of COVID. Also, she had to replan things more than once. Your wife sounds incredibly lucky to have you. Best of luck to you both and cheers to an amazing reception. So many things. Visit my grandparents. Hug my great-grandma. See my college friends before we all graduate in May and scatter across the country. Go to a movie theater with my partner. Walk around a Target just cause. Visit my favorite coffee shop. Cry. I'd cry a lot from happiness. Visit graduate schools before I commit this spring. See my 3 nieces that were born this year that I haven't been able to meet yet. Hug my sister that I haven't been able to see for just over a year now. Get super drunk and give myself a night deserving of my senior year of college. Go see my hairdresser, old high school friend, she's been having chemo treatments and I haven't felt safe seeing her. Get a hotel room for a mini getaway for my partner to see his old friends. Go to a museum and touch the interactive exhibits.